What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. How's it going, guys?
Chilling. You know how it goes.
The new dance, the new haircut, the new mug, and JL finishing his lunch. You guys are killing it. Oh, and Reese's Cups for lunch. Scott Fish will be very happy to see that.
Weren't you talking crap about Reese's yesterday, Joe?
Not me. No, I love Reese's.
I thought you were agreeing with Scott. All right, fine.
No.
Never mind. All right, good.
I would never.
We're on the same page. Then.
I'm with you, Josh.
We're all on the same page about Reese's. I guess I haven't asked our guest yet today, but our guest today, he's been here before. You guys probably already know him, but if you do not, he's on Twitter at Methodical1. He's a senior redraft analyst for Gridiron Rating, an expert ranker on Fantasy Pros, and the host of GR Weekly. My man, Matt McCarthy, is here with us. How's it going?
This is good. This is number 4. This is the first time I'm not going to beat y'all in trivia, so it's kind of interesting.
Have you won the other 3 times you've been?
Yeah,
on?
I'm 3 for 3. I've only gotten 2 questions wrong.
I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
Fact check. Somebody,
Never
Z2, J-Wall, someone go fact check this guy. Make sure he's telling the truth. No, I believe you. You know your stuff. Even when we're just talking before the streams, like the stats.
You don't know anything.
Nowhere. You don't know anything is what I meant to say, Matt. Guys, we brought Matt here today to play some tiers with us. We are going to be tiering our Week 5 running backs, and then we're going to be going through some NFL jerseys. I know we all got some opinions on who's got the freshest jerseys in the NFL and who's got the worst, so we will be talking a bit about that. Before we get started today, guys, we have some questions in the chat. Mike coming in here right away. Mike gave us a lot of context about his league, but the first question, what it boils down to, Josh, you helped me out with this one before, was CEH for Calvin Ridley. Should he trade CEH for Calvin Ridley right now with Calvin Ridley missing this week due to personal reasons? Josh, I feel like you've been thinking about this one since you saw the question in the chat.
I still don't have a great answer. I mean, when it comes down to it, CEH is not equal to Calvin Ridley. If I was doing a new draft, I'd be drafting Calvin Ridley ahead of CEH, even with this news of him missing next week. But
in redraft.
But I look at his team, and Chris Carson is his number 2 running back right now. Chase Edmonds is great, but you can't trust Chris Carson, not with this neck injury, and we'll get into that. There's, Chris Carson has a chronic long-term neck injury. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't think anyone really does, but it's concerning. I don't think you can trust Chris Carson going forward. So losing CH hurts a lot, and your wide receivers are very strong. So it's a tough decision here.
For you, I don't think I'm making this trade. I am very comfortable with Hopkins, Cooper, and then a combination of Woods, Julio, Higgins in that wide receiver 3 spot for the rest of your season. And I think CEH is significantly more valuable for your team. I love Cooper and Hopkins. And then you have a great trio that you can plug in based on matchups for wide receiver 3 in my mind, and even use one of them as a flex. So I think I'm keeping it. Matt, what about you? Are you making the trade CEH for Calvin Ridley for this team?
It's tough because at current value, Ridley to CH is probably appropriate due to Clyde's real resurgence over the last 2 weeks. The issue is that he can always go back to being the player we saw in the first 2 weeks where he's not using the passing game, and if we're not using him to score, then you're going with a player that outside of like 7-8 running backs right now, that's really the only guys we currently say that are good starts at the position. Because with Cordarrelle Patterson being like an RB1 consideration type player this week, it kind of showcases how bad running back is. It's a terrible position. It's tough to rank. It's tough to account for. We're not seeing a lot of good play from it outside of the guys who are kind of just drafted in the first round. This is kind of selling low, though, on Ridley was. So 2 things really happened. 1, Patterson's emergence, and 2, he's not seeing the dramatic target share we were kind of expecting him to have. This is one of the few players I thought we could see like 180 targets or more on the year from week 1. And considering we haven't seen that to this point, now we're just saying that it's not going to happen, period. So that's really the issue I have. Now, is he able to really make this trade? Sure. Because he needs running backs. Because Carson, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
He has the CEH side, just so.
Oh, he does have the CEH.
Yeah.
Okay. So he'd be acquiring Ridley.
He's trying to acquire Ridley. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm fine with it because you're actually he's going to have somewhat of an issue with the other players at running back, but Ridley, I still think you can then take and move because his value, no matter what, I feel is going to go up. And you're kind of getting now, of course, this week is kind of weird because he's not playing. but I think his value only goes up from what he is right now because this is really his lowest point. You have Patterson go out and score 3 touchdowns. He's going to be getting a total of 0 this week, no matter what, because he's not making the London game. You're never going to get Ridley lower than now, so I'm fine with this. Is
there any temptation to wait until after this week, or do you think that window is closed with Ridley not playing this week? Like the Montgomery's going to be out another 4 or 5 weeks, and he's offering it to the Montgomery owner. Is there an argument to be made for him to get value out of CEH this week in this matchup, see some clarity with Carson, and then try to make this trade?
If you would want to, you're going to be picking up the 0 on Ridley.
Yep.
The issue really being is that this Ridley trade happens probably no matter what in his league. It does now. He's going to be the guy making the trade, or someone else going to be making this trade for Ridley, and he could probably get at a cheaper price than what Clyde Edwards-Helaire is. That's the real problem is that some of these trades is kind of, can you be the first guy to pounce on? Like Patterson is a guy I've been trading. I wanted to trade a lot of places, but I'm not getting good value. Kareem Hunt was a player I was talking about last week in a contribution for fantasypros.com saying, like, listen, look at players that are outscoring what they should be. Go and move these sort of guys. And Ridley right now is just, he's
the opposite end of the
spectrum. I was told specifically by Fantasy Pros to not write about Calvin Ridley because he's such an easy buy low. Like he is the buy low.
Makes sense. So Josh and I are saying you should keep CEH, but Matt seems to think there's some value in Ridley there. Or Josh, you know what, Josh?
It makes sense for his team. I'm saying that Calvin Ridley does have more value in my mind, though. So, but for your team, I don't know if I can make the trade.
Scott in here saying I was going to Venmo each person in the chat money if they started on time today. Sorry guys, we wanted you to not get money, so we purposely waited. We were actually ready at 1:59, but decided.
Scott told us he was going to do that, and we were like, nah.
And then he backed out. He DM'd us like, no, please don't start on time.
I wasn't going to throw him under the bus.
I can't afford it.
JL. I was taking the blame.
I was.
Craig in here says hi, Joshy, and then always happy to Matt on again. Craig is matting on again. The verb is Matt is what's going on here. We got Jordan here. Jordan says, did Josh grow up this week? I think so. He's a big boy now.
There's a bunch of things, It's the polo, it's the haircut. There's a lot of things happening.
The new scenery.
Yeah, I look older.
Jay Wall saying Josh with the haircut. And we got Ricky Butts in here. What's up, Ricky? Great to have you. And our man Joey Wright. It is a great Thursday, Joey. Jordan said, man upgraded his set and put on a nice polo too. Well, he was golfing, guys. He was golfing.
As always when I'm wearing a polo.
Jay Wall said, fact, Matt is a genius, confirmed. I think probably because you only missed 2 questions ever. I agree with that. And Z2 in here saying hi and letting everyone know you should watch JL Short on Chris Carson. So go check that out. Jordan said Simon should be smiling. Hearing 0 RB was the way to go.
I think it was. It probably was too.
With all these running back injuries, I mean, they happen every year, but like you'd have to be pretty lucky to grab one of those early running backs and not have an injury somewhere. I think probably now we can see like the ultimate, like, I don't know if anyone's a gamer, like the meta, the best way to go about doing it was probably take a running back in the first round and then never care about the position again.
That's what I did in Scott. I did Austin Eckler and then it's just scrapped after that. I have Patterson in there. I wish I could put him in the running back slot on MFL, but you can't. But that's okay, guys. Before we get into tiers, we have one more question from DJ Vic, Cordarrelle Patterson, or Marquise Brown.
Oh my God!
Did my mic get loud all of a sudden?
It did.
It does that randomly. I apologize.
This question sucks because I love Marquise Brown. I think he's going to be put in your lineup almost every week, and you are going to have fantasy success with Marquise Brown. The Ravens offense is throwing very well, but Cordarrelle Patterson, Calvin Ridley, as we all know, is not going to play this week. I lean Marquise Brown still, but it's really freaking close.
I lean Brown as well. Patterson just has not been getting. He's been super efficient. He hasn't been getting the volume. I think it's 32% of snaps he's been in on. I mentioned that earlier in the week. It is a really good matchup. Ridley's out, but I would just rather have Marquise Brown. It's also a good matchup for Marquise Brown, and I think they're going to throw it a lot to him.
There's like 20 spots between these guys for me. I am very much on the Patterson.
You're Patterson. Yeah.
I agree with Matt here. I think this is a Patterson game coming up with not just Ridley out. Ridley and Gage is still out. So it's Patterson and Pitts. Like that's who's going to be catching the ball over there. Maybe Zacchaeus.
Watch. Pitts is going to get like 2 catches for 3 yards.
And Patterson's going to have 17 catches for 4 touchdowns.
No, Patterson's going to have 3 catches for 3 touchdowns probably. So, maybe he is the start.
Exactly.
Also, no problem, Mike. No problem. Glad we could help. And that was a fun question to answer, so I appreciate it. Craig said, I like it when Simon randomly yells. When you randomly yell, Simon, keeps me alert. Yeah, that's the goal.
Definitely woke me up.
And then one question from Greg right here. Schultz or Higbee for this week?
It's Schultz. Very close, but Schultz.
It's
Nice
Schultz
matchup.
for me as well.
Yep.
It's Higbee for me.
Higbee, but me and Josh we're synced today. Higbee, both in my top 12 though.
Yeah,
there we go.
They're close.
Okay, guys, we've got some tiers to get into today. A reminder for everybody watching, we will also be live right after this at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time, answering some questions for you. Any question you have, we'll be live for office hours, so make sure you bring your questions in there, and we will be glad to answer them for you. Before we start tiers, guys, 2 things. 1, a reminder, if you're watching this right now, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It means a ton to us. It's the easiest way to show your support. So if we've helped you at all, you enjoy us, or you feel bad for us and want to give us a little bit of serotonin today, hit that subscribe button. It definitely does that for us. And guys, I believe Josh has some news for us. There was
just some quick hitters. I mean, like there's some big stuff that kind of dropped today that I do want to make sure everyone knows. Like we've been talking about, Calvin Ridley is not making the trip to London due to a personal matter. He's not hurt, so that's good news, but he's not playing. I'm playing Kyle Pitts and Cordarrelle Patterson if I can, but I just said I would play Marquise Brown over Cordarrelle Patterson. So it is what it is. Christian McCaffrey back at practice again today, so he might play. I'd be very surprised still, but it looks more and more likely that he will. Chris Carson, he's questionable on Thursday night with a chronic long-term neck injury. Pick up Alex Collins. That's my advice to you guys. We'll just keep running through these because I do want to get into tiers. Baker Mayfield suffered a partially torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder. Apparently this occurred against the Texans a couple of weeks ago. He's been playing through it, but he looked pretty bad last week.
Performance against the Vikings, yeah.
Exactly. I'm not playing Baker in fantasy.
I'm
just not.
Lowest amount of touchdowns in the NFL. Him and Jacoby Brissett, and he has 4 starts. So,
yeah. Jaguars say there will be a bigger role for Laviska Shenault with the DJ Chark injury. I think we all knew that already. The Steelers say they will not Ben Roethlisberger. Knew that. Antonio Gibson. No. Yeah. Heck no. Antonio Gibson was limited in practice today, but he's practicing. Joe Mixon still not practicing with the ankle injury, considered day-to-day. The offense coordinator said they will use a committee approach if Mixon's out. Doesn't give a lot of inspiration to Samaje Perine, so that makes me a little bit nervous for him. And Teddy Bridgewater logged a limited practice today. He's on track to play this week. Not playing Teddy Bridgewater in most leagues, but his weapons, it does help them. Let's go, boys.
There we go. Okay, guys.
We also practiced today, by the way.
Who?
CMC.
Yeah, that was in there.
That was in there. Oops.
Jay wants to know, what team is that crispy hat of, Simon? This is a Browns hat. This is one of their older logos, Brownie. He is a character from Scottish folklore, I believe, that they adopted as a mascot a while ago. They're bringing him back a little bit now. You can see him on the sidelines at games. And Albert said A.J. Brown practiced again.
That
today.
Was not in there.
So there we go. Albert with the A.J. Brown updates. Albert with the assist on the
Albert's
news.
been clutch.
Yo, on pole perception, Albert's been absolutely killing it recently. I don't know if he's been studying.
You're the man, Albert.
Absolutely killing it. Okay.
Thank you, Albert.
Okay, guys, we are going to get started on our week 5 running back tiers right here. I went ahead and pre-populated some of the must starts. That doesn't mean that's everybody that's going to go in must start. It's just the names we don't need to talk about. You know what I mean? These are the ones that are going in your lineup for sure.
They're really must starts.
We've got Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, and Najee Harris populating that must start tier up there. And Matt, I'm going to go ahead and move you up to the top here. Now, we don't have to go in order. You don't have to go down to a great start. You could name a bench guy if you think that's what's important here. But you get to pick any of these running backs that you want to talk about and then tell us what tier you would put them in.
We got to start with Patterson. There's no one else we need to talk about more than
Darrell
currently right now.
Yep.
And I think that's probably the best to just get him out of the way at the start. I currently have him inside my top 12 with the Calvin Ridley news at running back. And receiver, he's a little bit lower. He's like around wide receiver like 20. But the matter of the position. So I'm currently starting him over guys like Antonio Gibson, Jonathan Taylor, Darrell Henderson, Leonard Fournette in a really good spot. I actually want to talk about him later too. But we're in such a bad spot here because this is bad analysis no matter what we do on him, right? So he's averaging in full PPR, he's averaging 0.8 points per snap. That's not per touch. because that's over like a point and a half. It's just per snap.
So
Whenever he's literally playing on the field, that's where he's at, right? So we have a real issue with how well can he really get in there and be a reliable fantasy option. Well, so far last week I ranked him in the 30s and he just blows it away with the 3 scores. If he scores once or twice, he's probably inside the top 20.
Oh yeah.
No matter what this week.
Yeah.
But we're to this point now where it's, they're still not using, they don't even use him for the last 2 drives of that game. So we're still at a weird spot, but we're no longer able to, I think, even like say that for at least this weird London game, which is a 9:30 start on Sunday, which is annoying as well. But we have just enough bad matchups of position because Clyde's been great, but he's got the Buffalo matchup. And I don't like Taylor against Baltimore because he needed to show up against Miami. It's a problem. We're at this point now. It's like, who would you rather even rank over the guy when he's just getting you fantasy points, which is all we really care about? So I think he's a great start, but he's also probably going to be a bench result because it's really just his range of outcomes is so dramatic that no matter what you say about him, we have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah. So he's still a great start because he's a running back. Receiver, it's a different story. This is strictly to what your settings are for your league. If he's able to be played at running back, awesome. If he's only a receiver, then there's a bunch of guys, he drops like a whole tier down. He would just be a solid start at receiver. Then he's a great start at running back. So that's where I am on him.
Yeah. By the way, this is Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yes. Cordarrelle Patterson. I don't know if I took that question as like, we're really talking about Patterson.
That's what I thought too. I was like, listen, we have to.
For Patterson, for me, I agree with you, Matt. He's a great start. And the reasoning, you hit the nail on the head. It's just because it's what he's been doing. And now that Ridley's out, how are you going to downgrade him with Ridley out? He's a great start for me as well. Josh, where are you going for Patterson?
Yeah, if Ridley wasn't out, I'm probably leaning towards the solid start for Patterson, but with Ridley out, it's a great start.
John Luke, we've got 3 great starts. Where are you putting Patterson?
I'm going to put him in a solid start. He is on that line. I obviously I think the Ridley being out helps him a little bit, but I don't know that I buy into that. It's going to, catapult him up, that they're going to use him way differently with Ridley not being there. So I'm going to put him in solid start.
I will hedge and say I agree with you on that point. Patterson and like basically all the parts of the running back, the Falcons got an uptick in this game for my ranks. I think they score less points though, but you have more focused work towards them. So in a PPR format, which we're ranking this off, that helps all of them. I think the Jets should be the favorite now in this game, which is kind of a silly thing. But they were just a -3 going into this. It was like a 46-point over under. I think that's all those lines are probably going to shift. This is not a good game.
So the line opened at -4 for the Falcons. It's now at like -3, -2.5 ish.
Yeah.
So it is adjusted a little bit. And to that point, real fast, maybe it's not that Ridley is. Cordarrelle Patterson's going to take all those Ridley targets. He's going to be on the field more. I'll tell you that much.
That's the important part. I don't think they're just like vacated targets. Like Kyle Pitts is another one. Everyone's now saying it's the Kyle Pitts week. I think that's lazy analysis. It really is just a problem for me saying he's just been what he is, which has just been a fine player, and they've been a bad offense. There's nothing else about it. They're not using guys correctly, and Patterson's been stealing work from guys who want to. Now we have to look at it. It's like, all right, it's a real bother for me just saying B exists because A happened. And I think it's a struggle of just saying, like, don't just jump to conclusions like that.
I agree with you. We are going to move on to our next player. I am picking the next guy that we are talking about here. And this one is there's so many good names we could be talking about down here. Where do I want to go? I am going to go with our boy, James Robinson this week. I think James Robinson has earned his spot in the great start category. Week 1 was terrifying for owners, or managers, but I think we need to recognize what his role in this offense is. Carlos Hyde isn't stealing the work that he thought he was going to be. James Robinson is the guy, and he's shown us that he's just as talented as we thought so last year. I'm starting James Robinson this week. He's not quite a must start, but he belongs in that great start category for me. Josh, where are you putting James Robinson?
He's a great start. I agree with everything you said, Simon. Great start.
John Luke?
Yeah, great start for me as well. I have him as a very high-end RB2.
Very high-end RB2.
Was Carson announced as out officially?
It looks like we have Bondi coming in here with some news. I have not verified that, though.
I've not verified it either, but I trust you, Bondi. It's fact now. in my mind.
It is fact.
Oh man, dang! He came in and said not announced.
Not
But
announced.
it's fact in my mind still. In my mind, don't use this for your fantasy team, but like he's not playing.
Jill, did you say great start?
I said great start. Yeah.
Okay, and Matt, what do you think about James Robinson this week? What tier would you put him in?
Yeah, it's an RB1. That's a great start for me. It's almost he's close to a must start.
Him or Patterson this week.
Robinson. So honestly, because I think he's probably my last must start. I'll say that. But great start looks like it's going to win the favor on that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Chosen Rose has a question for us real quick. Someone is offering
this.
CMC and Darnell Mooney for James Robinson and Calvin Ridley. Thoughts?
Man.
Robinson and Ridley.
I'll take the Robinson
question.
and Ridley side as well. I'm a little bit scared of him coming back from that. This is close, but Matt, you look like you're taking the CMC side of this one.
Yeah, if I get Christian McCaffrey for like my kidney, I'm cool with it. You just need one. I understand because people are so. The problem is we had back-to-back years of McCaffrey getting hurt in weird situations when prior to 2020 he was playing like 1,200 snaps a year, and we were like saying nothing about it. So I understand the feeling people have on him now, and it's responsible to at least feel that way. But I'll take McCaffrey anytime I can get it.
Makes sense. Eric has a question for us real quick too. Russell Wilson
They're
or
playing
Matthew
against
Stafford?
each other. They're playing against each other.
Give me Russell Wilson.
Give me Matthew Stafford.
I love Matthew Stafford, but I'll take Russell Wilson.
I'm taking Stafford. Better Rams defense, in my opinion.
I have a problem with the Seattle offense, but so I'm going to go with Stafford. But I don't want to spend too much time on it because I have a lot of things to say about Seattle offense was bad.
Jail, real quick. Stafford for you. Okay, I'm sitting alone on the Wilson side. Josh, which of these players would you like to talk about next?
Oh, right. I got to pick one of these players. So let's see. An easy. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is actually pretty much a must start for me. I mean, I guess I would start James Robinson over him. I put him in great start. So yeah, Jonathan Taylor, throw him in great start. I think we're all going to agree here.
JL, where are you putting Jonathan Taylor?
He's in great start for me. He's not quite that must start.
Matt?
It's probable that he's even just a solid start. I really don't like running backs right after Patterson. Like 13 onward really starts getting kind of iffy for me.
If Baltimore runs away with this game,
yeah,
I could see that. I could see it happening.
Yeah, I'll put him in great start for the time being. But I get what you're saying, Matt. It is closer, Joshua. You said it was closer to must start. It is closer to solid start for me with Jonathan Taylor this week. But that lands him in great start. And John Luke, what about you? One more player. Which guy would you like to talk about? Can be good, bad, ugly, whatever you want.
Let's see.
I want some ugly boys.
You want some ugly boys? Okay, I can find an ugly boy for you. Let's talk about. You know what? Let's talk about Jamaal Williams. He's on there, right? Yeah, I see him down there.
Yes, he is.
Jamal Williams for me is a solid start. I think that he could be potentially have RB3 floor with RB2 upside. I believe the coach came out today and was saying, Dan Campbell was saying that they're going to use a hot hand approach. Jamal Williams has just been very good, been very efficient, and has been getting a good amount of the work in that offense.
So solid start for Jamaal Williams from John Luke. Matt, where are you putting Jamaal Williams?
I got him as a bench. I'm one of the lower rankers on him right now. I don't particularly like this whole group of running backs. So we have a lot of bad running back matchups and a lot of confusing running back matchups. So once you get past like 25 or so for me, my rankings available on fantasypros.com, I think is in my profile.
Yes.
So guys like Tony Pollard and Latavius Murray and like all the Buffalo and Kansas City guys, there's so many, like this big mosh of like 15 guys that stink. And I say Williams is a guy I haven't really settled on right now, but I think he's a bench for me.
A bench from Matt on that one.
You know what? And I'm going to downgrade him because I hadn't seen this news that he was limited in practice Wednesday with a hip injury, which is a little bit more concerning, and that's going to be enough to knock it into emergency start for me.
Emergency start for JL, bench for Matt. And you know what, JL, I was happy that you were in the solid start, so I wasn't going to be there alone, but I'm going to go solid start. And one of the primary reasons is is who the Lions are playing this week. They're playing against the Vikings, and the Vikings run defense has not been great so far this year. They just got torn apart by Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, though that Browns offense wasn't looking great as a whole. I think Jamaal Williams can get it done. And Mike Zimmer, what did he say in the interview or the post-game press conference? He wasn't even concerned about the Minnesota run D, even though they've been repeatedly gashed. I like Jamaal Williams. He's usually in that solid start, emergency start category for me, but liking the matchup this week, I'll put him in solid start.
He's the emergency start for me.
Emergency start. So we've got one solid start, two emergency starts, and a bench. I think that leads them directly.
Yeah, I'm moving up to emergency start as well. I'm looking. They're top 5 in yards allowed to running backs on the season. I'm moving up to like the low 30s instead of like near 40 where I had them.
Makes sense. It's a sneaky matchup, right? When you think Vikings, you don't think bad run defense, but they have not been great so far. S'mores wants to know, are you starting Kyle Pitts over Dawson Knox, given the fact that Calvin Ridley is out this week? Yes. I was starting Kyle Pitts over Dawson Knox, even if Calvin Ridley was playing this week.
Yes.
That's the answer. He's been so involved. I know it's been a little disappointing, but he's involved in that offense. He's running the routes. He's getting the targets. You start Kyle Pitts over Dawson Knox.
Same.
Anyone disagree?
Nope.
Crowder or Higgins?
It's Higgins if he plays.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if he plays. We got to see if he's going to be out there.
Yeah, I think that's your answer, Michael. Higgins if he plays, but Crowder's a fine start if he doesn't. And then AB says Cooks, Pitts for Deontay Johnson, Damian Harris. Who wins this trade? Love the show, fellas. Keep the grind.
Thanks, is this AB?
So Brandon Cooks, Kyle Pitts for Deontay Johnson and Damian Harris. Josh, what side are you taking?
I'm on the Deontay Johnson, Damian Harris side.
What about you, Matt?
I always want to get the best player in the deal, which is Deontay Johnson, especially since Ben can't throw more than like 7 yards right now.
I'm with you guys.
But he can throw 7 yards.
Jail,
he throws 7 yards no further.
Are you also on the Deontay Johnson side,
yes.
JL?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, let's do one more player. Matt, you can pick one more player that you want to talk about from this list, someone that you think might be important to talk about, and then we'll move on to our NFL jerseys tier list.
Let me pick from this list here. There's like a bunch of good guys, but I want to talk about Josh Jacobs, how I think he's either emergency start or bench. He did not look right in that Chargers game. There was a few times where you saw the play develop, and he just seemed like I was worried that he's not fully healthy yet. And I don't think we're enough, really just removed from, this situation he was dealing with for a few weeks that I'm really prioritizing him against Chicago. So for me, I would start him over Williams, but that's kind of like I was already down on Williams anyway. But there's a lot of the names listed there. I'm not in on it. He's like my running back 28 right now. I don't like it.
An emergency start, bordering on a bench for Josh Jacobs from Matt. And man, just with the landscape at running back, I think I have to put him in the solid start category when I'm looking at this list of names. Like, I'm not excited about it, but I'm plugging him in and I'm playing him. He didn't look right, but he was getting a decent amount of work. You have to hope that he's a little bit better this week than he was last week. It's a play that if he's on your team, a lot of times you're going to have to make it. A lot of the teams that drafted Josh Jacobs drafted him because he was the last of a tier of running back that they needed as a starter. I know I have him in a couple leagues like that, but he's a solid start in my eyes. Josh, where are you putting Josh Jacobs?
He's absolutely a solid start in my eyes as well. I agree with you, Matt. There were a bunch of plays that I was kind of like, he doesn't look great, but they're going to use the hell out of him. And I expect now that the injury is further and further away that he'll look better and better as we go along. There's really not that many great starts.
That's really the issue. There's not a lot of
yeah.
And again, these are guys that I'm low on. I talked about him and Williams. These are players I'm some of the lowest, bomb 10 rankers on Fantasy Pros for these players. Like, I'm kind of saying specifically, like, these are guys that I'm personally saying I don't like.
Yeah.
So
makes sense. And you put your money where your mouth is. It's where they're in your rankings on Fantasy Pros. You're not just spouting takes here. JL, where are you putting our boy Josh Jacobs? We've got a bench or an emergency start and 2 solid starts.
Yeah, he's a solid start for me. I have him as a back end RB2 this week. I think he'll have a solid game.
Yeah. Okay. You know what, guys? We are going to talk about a few more players. This is important. There's still a bunch of names up there that we shouldn't be overlooking. The next name I want to talk about is Michael Carter for the New York Jets. He has been slowly getting more and more work. I say slowly. It's been 4 weeks. Pretty quickly getting more and more work in that offense as the season has gone on, and he's looked good. And I like the matchup this week against the Falcons. It's I think it's good for Michael Carter. I'm going to put him in solid start with Josh Jacobs. Man, what would you guys do? Would you start Michael Carter or Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs for me.
Jacobs.
Oh yeah, Josh.
That's why Michael Carter is going to go to emergency start for me.
Emergency
but
start
above Jamaal Williams, but still emergency start for me.
Emergency start for Josh.
I like how the Jets have been using him. I love seeing the progression. He's getting more and more work, but I still got to see it. I got to see it.
I get you. John Luke, where are you going? Solid start, emergency start, bench, must start for Michael Carter?
No, he's an emergency start. I'm starting Jamaal Williams over him. Michael Carter, while I'm excited for his future, I mean, he just barely cracked an RB2 performance in week 2 when he finished RB22. But outside of that, he hasn't even gotten into the RB2 category. So he's an emergency start for me.
Matt, what do you think here? We've got a solid start and 2 emergency starts for Michael Carter.
Again, it's probably because he's outside my top 30, so it's a bench by proxy. But in terms of I'm kind of picking up on how the game works more as I'm going along with this. He's an emergency start because of how the position plays out. But for me, this is still the lowest scoring team in football. I understand the Falcons. We learned that you can at least not just treat every defense against the Jets as an immediate stream because the Titans were a failure last week.
Yeah.
But his snaps have been progressing. His targets have been solid. It's still a bad offense, but running back's bad.
Running back is bad. That's why I got him up in solid start, but I totally understand putting him down in emergency start. We've got a couple more questions in here. Bondi says Deontay Johnson for DeAndre Swift straight up. And then they give some more context about your team. Which side are you guys taking here? The Swift side or the Deontay Johnson side?
On the Swift side, personally.
Swift.
Yeah, Swift. If your next
Swift side
best
as well.
RB is Mike Davis for sure.
Yep, I agree. Josh, which player would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about something that actually, I looked into a little bit earlier, and I'm realizing it. Darrell Henderson is a must start for me tonight. I don't like his snap percentages have been fantastic. I believe he got hurt in week 2 a little bit. He played 68% of the snaps, but he's over 90%. The other 2 weeks he's played, including last week coming off the injury, he's going to be on the field all the time. He's a great pass catching back, and he's getting the carries. He's a must start for me. I don't know.
Must start for Henderson from Josh. John Luke, what do you think?
Where do I put him overall? You know what? I'm going to go with Josh. I think he's a must start.
Hey, let's go, JL.
Seattle is not particularly great against the run so far this year, and Darrell Henderson has looked great. And the ribs, I was worried last week going into that game with the ribs, and he looked fine. So perfectly fine throwing him in the must start. I have him in my top 12.
Yeah.
2 must starts so far. Matt, what do you think about our boy Henderson with the Rams?
Must agree. I said great start on Taylor, and I have him a spot higher than Henderson, so I'm going to have to go by proxy to, I guess, great start on Henderson as well. Again, it's Thursday night is just, it kind of skews me out in some places, but the Seattle defense currently is one of the worst in football. So I can cop to must start with the rest of the crew, but great start by how I've said my ranks go about. So.
Just hearing you talk about Jonathan Taylor real fast, it almost seems like I feel like Darrell Henderson should be above him.
He should be.
We could digress.
He probably will be. I'm looking at my ranks right now, right? So this group here of Patterson, Gibson, Taylor, and Henderson, and I really should probably move Henderson ahead of those guys. And again, ranks for me, they change throughout the week, but I'm going to make the switch right now. So I'm going to say, is he still a must start?
Go! We convinced him.
Especially with no Quentin Nelson and with the Baltimore matchup on Monday night. Taylor, again, he needed to showcase what he did last week. So Henderson, I'm gonna be fine with the must start. He's right outside my top 12 at our running back.
Perfect.
There you go. And he is a great start for me, but the top of that tier over everybody in there right now. But with 3 must starts and a great start, we are going to be putting Henderson into the must start category. Welcome to the elite crew up there. And John Luke, which player would you like to talk about? Or, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. We have a couple questions real quick. S'mores says Alex Collins looks like he'll be getting the start tonight. Are you going with him over Corey Davis at your flex as well as over Tyler Lockett? So the question is Alex Collins, Corey Davis, or Tyler Lockett at flex?
Well, Lockett above everyone, and then Alex Collins if he's starting over Corey Davis.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. It's Lockett, Collins, Davis for me in that order.
If Collins starts.
If Collins starts, yes, that's the case.
I think I would go Davis second in that. Lockett's definitely locked in, but
So
Yeah, I
Lockett,
agree
Davis, Collins.
going
I
against
agree with
Atlanta.
Trail. He's a great
Okay.
RB2. He's a fine flex, and I prefer a receiver mostly in my flex spots this year, so I'm going to go with Davis.
Yeah, especially one going against Atlanta.
And Craig,
Right,
with the
you're
reminder
beautiful.
in here, lots of great questions. A reminder, we will be live right after this at 4:15. So if we don't get to your question during today's tier show, please bring it to office hours afterwards, and we will be glad to answer any and all questions you have. That is all we're doing there, answering questions. So make sure you join us over there. What's
Drip?
up, Unruly Drip? My man, how's it going?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes. Yes.
And JL, which player would you like to talk about?
Oh shoot. I forgot that you were calling on me.
Well, we still have one more question here. I'm saying Mike Evans or Amari Cooper, good trade or no? I'm taking the
I'll take
Amari
the
Cooper
Cooper.
side.
I'll take
Give
the
me the
Cooper
Cooper
side.
side, yeah.
And I love both these players, but I'll take the Cooper side. Matt, you agree with that? You taking the Cooper side?
Very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie
Easy.
dokie, John Luke.
Easy peasy.
Let's see. Is James Conner on here? I don't see him.
He's not.
He's not. Is it?
He
I
didn't
guess.
crack the top 34 running backs, which is how many pictures I uploaded.
Oh, that's a little okay. That makes sense why I'm struggling to find someone to bench. I will go. I guess I'll go Chris Carson here. I think Chris Carson is definitely benchable without practicing this week. The neck concerns. I could see him being ruled out before the game, but even if he plays, I don't want to take that risk.
So you said bench for Chris Carson?
Oh
Yeah.
Bench.
Good
Matt,
call.
are you
I didn't
agreeing with
see him
that?
on here.
Who, Connor?
Chris Carson.
Yeah, bench. You can't. If he starts even to that point, I think he'd be lower than what I have. I think even lower than I have Collins right now because I still think I'm just worried about his longevity through the week. He was in the mid low teens, which is lower than where Chris Carson is anyway without the neck issue. Now I'm just very scared overall.
Yep. I completely agree. You can't start him, even if he's listed as playing in this game. There's just too much uncertainty for you to start him. He's a bench. Josh.
Bench him.
Chris Carson, welcome
Good
to
find,
the bench,
JL.
my man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the bench. If you guys are ready, I think we move on and
Let's
talk
get
about some NFL jerseys now.
Cool jerseys.
We're going to remove that. And I know I just said it, guys, but I'll remind everyone again, we are live right after this answering questions. Keep them coming. I love the questions you guys
Great
are
question.
asking.
Love
Yeah.
the
We have
question.
so many good ones today. And that's why we got another show after this so that we can do nothing but focus on those. One moment while I
Make
get
sure
this.
you hit that like button and subscribe. Talk some more fantasy every weekday. Every single weekday we're here.
Every single weekday. That's Monday through Friday, in case you don't know.
Yes,
3 o'clock
weekdays.
Eastern time.
Yes.
You got a different calendar? How your week normally go, Josh?
I don't know. I'm just letting the people know. All right. You know,
Let
maybe
people know.
my roommate, for instance, he works in the restaurant industry, and sometimes he works all weekend, so his weekend's a little bit different. I don't know.
I am Dalla coming in and said I'm bad with naming some of these dudes just by
Yes.
looking at the picture.
It's
We
kinda
get that.
tough.
There is a solution coming. Shout out to the Roto Heat team, but there's a solution coming for that.
Hey.
So don't worry over there. I
I
am
like
Dalla.
what I'm hearing here.
Okay, guys. We are going to be talking about NFL jerseys now. Our favorites, our least favorites. I grabbed all the pictures from like the most recent jerseys that they're selling. So these are the jerseys that are listed on there, and they should match the game jerseys. Matt, is there a specific jersey you want to talk about first? One you absolutely love or one you absolutely despise?
Yeah, Chargers S. Let's just get it out of the way. Chargers S.
Yep,
Move
Chargers
now,
S.
and then we can start the rest of it.
Okay,
Yep.
S for me.
Powder blue.
Josh, S for the powder blues.
The powder blue. Oh yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
put my Mike Williams jersey on.
Matt, we're going to let you pick another one because you were right. We just had to get that one out of the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
The Lions are like F. That's an easy F
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
I really, they are just
That was the one I was gonna do, and I was afraid that I was gonna get dragged.
they're so bad. Like it's weird because they're so close to what the Chargers.
They're
like,
trying
blue
to be
is.
the powder blue.
It's like a muted blue with a just like depressing gray color.
Like it got ran through the wash like just way too many times, and all the color is faded from it.
Guys,
It's bad.
Remember the other day whenever I like whipped out the bottle of ink and was like, that is the only color I use when writing? Like this ink when we were talking about fountain pens.
No.
It is the color of their jerseys. And JL, when you started
That's a
describing
weird
it, that's
color
what
to write with.
it's like a muted gray blue color, and that's what it is.
Is it the blue or the gray?
It's gray blue.
Oh, it's like a mix of the two.
Yeah, it's like
Gray
mixed
blue.
together.
Oh, okay.
If the Lions
Still
were an
blue,
ink
but it's
color,
grayish.
yeah, if the Lions were an ink color, that's what I write with. But I'm going on a jersey. I don't know, Matt. You're right. There's something off about it. Like I should like it based on the colors. I just don't. I'll put it in C because I like the colors, but it just doesn't come together right for some reason. Josh, where are you going here for the Lions? I can zoom back in for you.
Yeah, it's like a hard D for Detroit.
Hard D.
Hard D for Detroit.
We've got a D, a C, and an F so far. JL, where are you going with this Lions jersey?
F. Bonk.
Oh,
That brings it out to a D. My C
Get him
and
outta here.
Josh's D was
I'm sorry,
enough.
Jay Wall, you're wrong.
J-Wall,
Yeah.
you're so wrong. You're an idiot, J-Wall. And I'm Dawson. Yes, the Powder Blues are the goats.
And Rick said, thanks for the reminder, Simon, about the images. Not my intention at all, Rick. I was just shouting you out because I know that's something you worked hard on over there. Apple in here saying every weekday these legends fire it up on Thanksgiving,
Apple.
Labor Day, every GD weekday. Yeah, we're here Monday through Friday. So if you guys want to check us out, Apple's not wrong.
I think
We don't
Apple just
leave.
scheduled us for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, guys,
I
we have to work
You
on
don't
Thanksgiving.
think last year, if I
We-
remember
we-
correctly.
I think we did. Yeah, that or Christmas.
I
Okay.
think we only missed Christmas, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. No, I think you're right. I think Christmas was the only one we missed.
The jerseys I want to talk about, guys, and it's a shame because I think they have some of the best helmets in the NFL, but I don't know who decided on this like gradient number pattern for the Rams on their jerseys. It is atrocious. It's disgusting. It looks like word art from 1995. Like it looks like someone designed it in PowerPoint and then they put it on a jersey. I don't know who made the decision on those numbers, but I can't believe it got through multiple rounds of approval and that's what they went with. I am putting
word art
it
is
in
the
the
perfect comparison. I didn't see it until you said it, and now I 100% that's what it is.
That's an effect that comes built into word art.
Yes.
I'm putting them in F tier. They're F for me, and it's not close. Josh, where are you putting the Rams jerseys?
They're like a C tier for me.
C for Josh. JL, what do you think?
Yeah, they're D for me. I like the colors. It has potential, but
Yeah.
The
They-
helmets are
they
so
goofed it.
cool. The
They
helmets
goofed
are
it.
It's great,
so
but we're
cool.
talking about jerseys, aren't we?
We're talking about jerseys. Matt, where are you going with the Rams? Matt's face has said, "I love these jerseys" the whole time.
No, this is the
Okay,
opposite.
okay.
No, this is the opposite. This is an F. They have the same problem as the Lions, where they're gray jerseys. They're away ones, which are supposed to be like bland as hell or better.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem is that like the numbers don't work, but the helmets are cool. Because they have the pants. When they wear these jerseys with their pants, are they home tonight or no? Are they in Seattle?
They
Are they wearing pants tonight?
home, I think.
Are you wearing pants?
Tonight or now?
definitely not tonight.
Not tonight, right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stream ends. I take the pants off.
Now,
They-
no. Tonight, also no.
When they wear their normal blue jersey, it just like mutes all into the pants. It's just like they're one big block of color. And I've watched enough like RuPaul commercials where it's just like you don't do blocks of color.
You don't do blocks of color.
You gotta-
You're
you gotta
damn
mix
right.
it up.
J-Wall just come in with
Just
the
said
constant
Simon's
just
magic word.
wrongness.
J
You
Wall is
said
wrong again.
Rams A tier. Man, J Wall. Nothing but bad takes from you today.
Over
Josh,
two.
which of these jerseys do you want to talk about next? A favorite, a least favorite?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble. There's a lot I want to discuss, but I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I'm gonna put them right in the A tier. I love the colors,
Bronx.
blue and orange. The Broncos, I'm all about them. A tier for me.
A tier for Josh for the Broncos. John Luke, where are you putting our Bronco jerseys?
Broncos are solid, I guess. They're gonna be B tier for me.
B for
B
Broncos. I
tier
figured.
for
B for
JL.
Broncos.
B for Bronco. That's science. Matt, where are you putting the Denver Broncos?
I think it's A. I'm curious as to how you pick these players out. I'm just looking at like the names of which jerseys they are.
I went with like a random variety. For some of them, I scrolled really far just for some reason. I have no idea. It was like, I did too many quarterbacks. Let's do a defense. Let's do a running
He's gonna be
back.
wrong the whole show, Jay Wall. He's the second guest, and he's wrong in everything.
He's so wrong.
They're A. I like them a lot. I really think they're really cool.
Hey, and I'm gonna go with B because that's about the lowest I can put something with orange in it. It's such a great color. So we've got 2 A's and 2 B's. But as
The
we do
best
on
color.
tiers, the tie goes to the guest. So we are going to put it up in A tier where you put it, Matt. So Broncos, welcome to the A tier. And I am Dallas. I'd agree with Broncos jersey, A tier. Come on, J-Wall. What are you even doing saying the D tier jersey? JL, it is your turn to pick. Which jersey would you like to talk about?
Oh man, we got to speed through these because there's so many I want to get to. All right, let's talk about the Dolphins. Dolphins are S tier.
S tier for the Dolphins from JL. Matt,
I'll be
what do
right
you
back.
think? He's grabbing his
Going to get
Fitzpatrick jersey.
Dolphins.
Let's go, Fitzpatrick! Fitzpatrick! Yeah! He's not on that team anymore, and he's hurt.
I'll be right back. New location. He doesn't have his jerseys on the floor next to him.
Yeah.
Matt, where are you putting the Dolphins jerseys?
I'm gonna say C. They're fine.
What?
Wait, JL, you said S, right?
S, yeah.
Okay.
As in
C, because they're all right. And now it's my turn. I was about to go to Josh. These are S tier for me, and the primary reason being this jersey was enough for Tim living in New Jersey to pick the Dolphins as his favorite team at a young age, solely based on the jerseys and colors. Shout out to Tim, S tier for the Dolphins. Josh, where are you putting the Dolphins? We've got 2 S's and a C.
Putting them in S as well.
Yeah, Josh.
And we'll see where Matt dragged them down to a 1.75. That is enough to put them in the A tier. Matt, you did it. Maybe said, "Oh, come on, that's A tier, bro."
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Scott
I
was
like
saying A. There we go.
Well, it wound up in A.
Matt, we are back to you. Which jersey would you like to talk about next?
Washington football team is an S.
Ooh.
Love their whole color scheme is probably the second best in the NFL outside the powder blue. I love Washington's. That's why they after they changed the name, they kept the colors as is because they are so good. When I think of classic football, Washington, well, and what they were, is that team I think of. Washington S tier for me.
See, just because it's classic, like when I think of classic movies, I think of like Citizen Kane, but I've yet to finish that movie.
The black and
I
white.
watched it recently.
I literally can't finish it. So
I finished
just
it.
Just because I'm proud of you
horrible.
because
It was hard.
it is so hard to
Difficult.
watch. But just because I get that they're classic, and I 100% agree when I think of classic NFL jerseys, these come up. I've got 2 problems with it. One, I look horrible in red, so all red jerseys automatically get downgraded a tier automatically, any shade of red. Number 2, I don't like teams that kind of give off Thanksgiving vibes year round. Virginia Tech and the Washington football team kind of have like a Thanksgiving vibe to them. So I am going to put it even lower. This is a D tier jersey for me. There's just a lot of things about it I do not like. Josh,
So you don't like the best holiday? I'm confused here.
Not the best holiday.
What's the better holiday?
You're wrong about so many things.
You and Tara.
No.
You
What's
and
the best
Tara both
holiday?
said their favorite holiday was Thanksgiving this week. We've had 2 guests say Thanksgiving's their favorite holiday in 1 week.
Christmas is mine, but
Halloween.
Thanksgiving's not far behind.
Halloween's the worst.
What?
It's so garbage. Shale, what's your favorite holiday so I can
Flag
say it?
Day.
Oh, shut.
Just end his stream.
June 14th.
All right. Washington Redskins jersey. Oh no, the football team jerseys. B
Yeah,
tier.
That's twice in
tier.
1 week.
That's B tier. That's B tier stuff right there.
Too much glass of wine.
Yeah, B tier. AB said too much glass of wine in the Washington jersey, and Scott said C tier. I am Dallas said, that's debatable. WFT probably mid tier. And Josh, you said C. John
B.
Luke, oh, you said B. I was
Mhm.
trying to downgrade you. Sorry about that, Matt
Yeah.
and Josh.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
JL, where are you putting the WFT jerseys?
You see,
Just so everyone knows some context, this is
I
an
don't
ex
well.
WFT fan, a jaded
yes,
ex
I grew
WFT
up
fan.
a full Washington fan. As my childhood was rooting for
You
this
made the
team,
right move.
and I
He's on the
hate the
Ravens
color
side now.
scheme. I hate it. It's the worst.
It's
It's
F,
like-
it sounds like
People love it, and I don't understand. It's like such a weird combo. Like it never. It looks like this. Like it's just super. It's like not intimidating at all. You're just like coming out like, oh, we got burgundy and yellow.
You said teal, the Dolphins. Okay, a dolphin. and
Amazing.
teal.
One of the best animals, and then teal, one of the
intimidating.
best colors. You're right, Matthew. My logic, Matthew Paul McCarthy. Washington football team is D tier.
Oh, I had already logged in F for you. I'll go ahead and adjust that. I just assumed after your
I
read.
It's not
assumed
that,
F was
it's not
coming
that bad,
too.
Simon.
I was thinking like a letter lower than F, just like he's like, screw it, M.
W for Washington.
But your S was enough to pull it up into the C tier out of the D tier where JL and I had put it.
No Lions jersey.
What did you say?
It's no Lions jersey.
It's no Lions jersey.
Yeah, they're
that's for
better than
sure.
those. At least we can all admit.
Okay,
Nah.
it is my turn to pick a jersey, I believe. You got your mom in here saying SMHJL.
Sorry, it's a bad color scheme, Ma.
Sorry, Mom. That's what JL said.
He's
Direct.
still
quote.
rebellious.
Now I do love their new helmets with just the number. Love that style. I think they nailed that on the head.
On the head. Was that on purpose?
Helmet.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that
Funny.
was on purpose. It is
Funny.
my turn to talk about jerseys. And man, I don't know why I want to keep talking about the ones I hate instead of the ones I love. So I'm going to force myself to be positive here and pick my favorite jerseys in the entire NFL.
I knew you were gonna do that.
The Raiders jerseys. The Raiders jerseys are so sexy. They're simple. They're clean. The black and silver is just like, I get so excited just looking at their jerseys. They are S tier for me. I wish there was something above S tier, and I wish the Browns colors were the Raiders colors. So that would be confusing with the name Browns. Josh, where are you going with the Raiders?
By the way, it is Lions and Rams in D tier. Scott.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Also, I think Matt's got a face like I'm about to bury the Raiders, Simon. This is payback for WFT.
They're spicy like mayonnaise is spicy. This is like such a boring jersey. So bad.
You can go, you know what, Matt, go ahead and give us your ranking for it. Wow.
F or D, whatever. This again, like this is all the teams that have like their color jerseys are their like the away jerseys are better. This one stinks. This is an F. I hate it.
F. I put S. We've got an S and an F. Josh, where are you going for the Raiders?
They're A for me.
A for Josh and John Luke. That smirk is making me nervous.
They are, unfortunately.
I still don't know where he's going. I still don't know where he's going.
You know what? They're D tier. I'm sorry, Simon.
Okay.
What?
They ruin it with the silver. I love all black. I love when a team picks black as their primary color scheme, and they just mess it up. Like I would much rather have the Cardinals color scheme and their black jerseys than Raiders. The silver is just bad.
Matt, we'll call it a draw with the Raiders and the WFT.
I feel better at watching because the Raiders are here.
We'll call it a draw on that one. Josh, which jersey do you want to talk about next? Also, Matty Daddy, and you're saying Front Yard Fantasy needs a jersey.
Oh my
Zeke
God.
Belly t-shirt jerseys.
Can you imagine?
They're coming to you. We're making Front Yard Fantasy halter tops, and we're going to call them jerseys. That's what we're doing. We're going to put them on our site as jerseys, but it's literally just going to be a halter top.
We need to do like a group photo shoot when you come up here, Simon, with our FYF belly shirts.
Oh, that will not be pretty for me. Josh, which jersey would you like to talk about?
Listen up. I got to bring them up. I know their team name is the Browns. They have to have somewhat of a brown jersey, but they're pretty freaking low. I'm between F and D. I can't decide which one I want to go with.
Did you see the player on that jersey, Josh? I wasn't trying to influence you at all by putting a player that you love.
That's a Wusu Koromoa, like I thought, like I know.
Who is it, Josh? Can't see.
Jeremiah Wusu Koromoa. Duh.
Bam, nailed it.
It's a D because it's him. But it's,
D.
yeah, it's pretty low.
D for Josh for the Browns. JL, where are you going with the Browns?
It's C. It's the most meh of all the jerseys.
C for JL. Matt?
C.
And guys, I am a Browns fan. I'm wearing a Browns hat. I am wearing a Browns shirt. I have those colors on all over. It's to Thanksgiving. It's a C. That's what's going on here.
So your hatred of Thanksgiving takes precedence.
No, I still love. Look at me wearing it. That's not hatred taking precedence. This is the love for the Browns taking precedence. But the color scheme, if I'm being objective, it's a bit too Thanksgiving. So that's going to end up in C for the Browns with the Raiders and the Washington football team. JL, which guy, which jersey, which shirt for football players would you like to talk about next?
All right, let's rapid fire another round of these.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Giants. The Giants are S tier. I hate royal blue, and the Giants have made me actually enjoy royal blue.
S tier for the Giants from JL. Matt, what do you think?
I live in New York, and I see these everywhere, and they're just fine. They're C.
C tier for Matt. Josh, what do you think?
What's you?
Oh, it's my turn. I completely forgot. Jail, I think they're awesome too. I love the blue. I think they're clean, and you'll see a lot of my favorite jerseys are kind of simple. It is A tier for me though. I'm going to put them in the A tier. Josh, what about you?
They're super blah for me. I'm going to say C.
Okay, so we've got 2 C's, an A, and an S. That brings our average to a 2.75, which is solidly in the B tier. They end up in the B tier. J-Wall said D tier there. Scott
J-Wall is not in line with us.
He is not.
And I am Dalla is disgusted with your S tier take for the Giants. He said blah. Okay,
Sorry,
Matt, we're going to try to go through another round of these quick because there's so many jerseys.
Yeah, I'll throw 2 in the same category. Cardinals and Vikings, both A.
Cardinals and Vikings, both A. We can see them both right here. Cardinals on the left, Vikings on the right. Both A. So now I'm up. I like the Vikings. The gold's a little much for me, so I'm going to put them in B. But the Cardinals jerseys, they are the best red jerseys in the NFL. I don't like red jerseys, so I'll put them in B as well. They're both B for me. Josh, where are you going here?
They're both B for me.
John Luke?
I'm going to go Cardinals are S tier for me. The fantastic color scheme that they've picked. I always pick Cardinals and all black jerseys in Madden. That's my go-to. Vikings is a little bit too cartoony for me, a little too goofy. So I'm going to put that in C.
Okay, so Cardinals end up in
You know what? I'm going to
A
put it
tier.
in B. I don't know if that changes anything.
It does change something.
Because I do love
second.
purple.
So you said A, Matt. Josh, did you say B for both?
Mm-hmm.
I said B for both.
So it's probably a B then, right?
Yep. It is also a B for the Vikings. They made their way up into the B tier for the Vikings. Which ones do I want to talk about next? You know what? I'm going to talk about a division rival. The Bengals jerseys, the orange, the black. I like the white ones. I just put the black one on there. I love the tiger stripes, and I think it looks so cool on the black jerseys. They're A tier for me. I really like those jerseys. Josh, what do you think about the Bengals jerseys?
I agree. They're A.
John Luke?
How often do they wear the black jerseys? I feel like I never see that.
Is this like their alternate now, or like their color rush?
When I clicked on home on the NFL website, this is the one that showed.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how often they wear it, but this was like the top row on all of them. Then when I clicked on home, this is the one that showed up.
I would put the black would definitely go higher. I guess I'm voting on that. So I'll put it in A. But their orange one.
What other color? They have an orange?
Yeah, orange is their main one.
Envision their orange. I can't even think about it.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time visualizing them on the field right now. Matt, where are you going with this Bengals jersey?
The white ones are like double S. The black ones are they're like A.
There's only different.
No, B.
B.
Yeah.
B. So 3 A's and a B. Bengals are going to end up in A, though. We've got A up there. Josh.
Let's do the Ravens. They belong firmly in A for me.
A for the Ravens from Josh. John Luke.
I like the black Ravens jersey better than the purple. It's a B for me.
B for John Luke, the Ravens fan. Matt, where are you putting the Ravens?
B.
B. And I love the purple. It's such a good purple, and they didn't mess it up with the like super obnoxious gold on there too. So it is A tier for me as well on that one. So we've got 2 A's and 2 B's, but tie goes to the guest.
I'm gonna make mine A.
Let's go. I think they're so much better than the Vikings in my personal opinion.
Yes, yeah, it's a much better purple, and they don't have the
I
gaudy
like
yellow.
both. I like both.
Yeah.
I am Dallas said, yeah, they have an orange and a white, and Jay Wall saying Josh saying orange is fantastic.
I love orange.
Orange.
JL, one more jersey. Which one would you like to talk about?
Shoot, there's so many good ones.
You want me to zoom in and do a pan?
Yeah. All right, maybe we'll end on a bad one. I know I'm gonna get so dragged for this. God, I'm excited for it.
Always make people mad.
The Seahawks.
Talk about the
F tier.
Talk about the
Seahawks
Jets or the Eagles.
Jets are probably also F tier. Jets are terrible.
Falcons too. Their new jerseys are terrible.
Sorry,
Word art team.
Oh,
okay,
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah,
Seahawks. You're a maniac, Jay.
I lived right next to the stadium for summer. I don't know why they chose crossing guard neon green, yellow for their color scheme, along with, of course, a very depressing silver, as we mentioned before, and a very muted navy blue. It's all around not good. And anyone who says otherwise is probably a crossing guard.
Crossing guards never will wear this color, by the way. Like you can't see colors if you think a crossing guard is wearing that green.
Matt, which color are you going with here? Or not color? Which
color are you going?
What tier are you putting the Seahawks jersey in?
I think B. I don't think they're that bad. They're not anything spectacular, but I think B's fine.
Dale, I wholeheartedly agree with you. That color is disgusting on the field. I hate looking at it. It's like someone ate like Nickelodeon slime and then threw it back up, and then they're like, "That's the color. That's what we got." It is F tier for me. I like the Seahawks. I just don't like their jerseys. Josh, you disagree with JL and I could tell. Where are you putting the Seahawks?
They're more like they're an A for me.
A. We got an A.
I respect you for not going with the spiteful grade here, Josh. Just voting with your heart.
They couldn't go with S. They're definitely not S. But they're high tier for me.
Well, they end up in C with the Washington football team, Browns, and Raiders. Guys, I think that is all we have time for today. I know we want to talk more about these. Scott said Bucks and Falcons are S tier. I wholeheartedly disagree on the Falcons.
I wholeheartedly disagree on the Bucks, but
can I just throw the Jets in the F? Does anyone disagree?
No.
I like the new ones.
I like the new ones too.
Don't even get into it then. Don't even get into it.
Damn it.
Stay tuned for part 2 where the Jets showdown happens. I forgot the words I was going to say halfway through.
Eagles.
J-Well said Eagles. J-Well, you don't want us to do that to you.
Yeah.
Just take the L, move on. It's okay.
It's a D, buddy. Sorry.
It's DRF.
It's not good, J-Well. Guys, that is all we have time for today, but we will be back in about 10 minutes live on the same YouTube channel answering all of your fantasy questions. So make sure you tune in for office hours over there. And if you have not done so already, go follow our guest Matt at Methodical1 on Twitter, and you can access all of his great content over there. Guys, that is it for us right now, though. We will be back on in about 10 minutes answering your questions. So please join us over there. Until then, adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Try to make fantasy fun.